Listen, Miss South Africa is back! Listen, you know how I feel about Miss South Africa. I love it. I think any opportunity where you get to just be thrust into the limelight, and then your passions come through, you must take it, right? And if you can use whatever it is that God gave you to chase that, then go ahead.
It's the platform. It really is. And I mean, so many amazing women have gone on to do great things off the platform of Miss South Africa. Incredible.
So the last Miss South Africa was so special. How many Miss South Africas did you have on stage, Gareth?
So we celebrated our Diamond Jubilee in 2018. So we had probably about 42 former Miss South Africas on stage, and that included, so you had Anneline Creel, who was Miss World 1974.
Margaret Gardner.
Miss Universe 1975. And then you had Rolene Strauss, Miss World 2014. And then
Demi
the
Lee.
then reigning Miss Universe, Demi-Leigh Nel-Peters, Miss Universe 2017.
Gareth Flask is here from Sun International, and you take it upon yourself every year to make this pageant so special. And I've watched you in action, just the integrity and what I love the most is you always want to make sure that it's a fun experience for the girls. Because I remember, here's how it works, and I don't know if it's going to work the same. They'll send in the photos, and then we pick from the photos, right?
Yep. That's right. I mean, this year, Nila, you were involved last year, so we went around the country.
Yeah.
So it was Joburg. We ended up in Joburg, actually, but then there was Durban, there was Port Elizabeth and Cape Town. And we had 491 girls that had entered. And remember, sitting through all of that and seeing everything, what we thought about this year was we really want the reach to be wider. So entries are online.
Yes.
So really simple, go to missa.co.za. The entry form is there, and what you can do is then upload photos from your Instagram, from your Twitter, fill in all your details. And one thing that we always say, and I'm sure that you can appreciate as well, Anil, is that Miss South Africa, the way that people know about her life is through social media. That's really how people get in touch with her. How people tend to know until you meet her in person. But we want the reach to be wider, so anyone from anywhere in the country can submit an entry, and that is the big difference between last year and this year.
What I'm laughing at is you may as well send us your Instagram photos, because as soon as we see the girls, they walk in, we all get on our phones and we find her Instagram page. and then we go through. Rolene was actually so big at that.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, I don't know. Is she photogenic? Rolene's like, here she is 3 years ago in Holland for a holiday.
Yo.
Look how pretty she looks there. I'm like, okay, Rolene,
Wow.
Queen Stalker. So when you say they enter via obviously online, so what do I tag you on my post? What's
well, the actual entry form is you've got to fill in all your details. So if you are going to enter, it's name, surname. There's some frequently asked questions that we have on there on the website as well. But uploading a couple of pictures, and Frankie's laughing because the questions that we get, those FAQs, they're real.
The first question on the frequently asked questions is, can I be married?
No, it's Miss South Africa. There is another pageant, Mrs. South Africa. You can go to that one. Do I need to be told to enter? Now, here's the thing about that. Demi Lee wasn't tall.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
No.
And I thought I might get the question today. It's height is not a factor. And if you think about Demi Lee, she was one of the shortest girls in Miss Universe. She was definitely the shortest out of all of the 5 finalists that went into that very last round and won. And I think that just points to what the competition is all about. People think, oh yeah, it's a beauty competition, you need to be tall, you need to be photogenic, all the rest. But Demi, she's something special. She was 21 when she won Miss South Africa. She's mature beyond her years. Sure. She's got such a great attitude, and she's got such great goals. She sets it for herself. As soon as she won Miss South Africa, she was like, Miss Universe, next step.
That's
what I
want
want to do.
Demi wasn't tall, neither was Melinda Bam. And I remember the 1 year in the top 5, Tidimalo. She's striking goal, made the top 5, smashed it out the park. She also wasn't tall, so I guess you just have to be striking.
Yeah, and I think it's not only about, yes, it's a beauty competition, to put it that way, but most importantly, it is about the way that your personality actually translates when you're talking to that audience.
You mentioned this last year when you were busy with the rounds, because you were adjudicating on the rounds. And I remember clearly you walking in one morning saying, You know how cool it is when the girl walks into the room. You can feel her spirit.
Yo.
You feel that spirit,
Energy, guys.
that energy.
And they just
before.
walk in and they're
Yeah.
just like bright and they shiny. You like, yes. I remember when Tamron Green walked down, it was in Cape Town, she was wearing a mustard dress, with a plunging neckline, and she walked down the ramp, and myself and Siba looked at each other and we were like, boom.
That's the one.
That's the one. And then she won Miss South Africa and went on to be a runner-up at Miss Universe, which I think she should have won, but don't tell nobody I said that. So Gareth, other rules that may have changed, things that we need to be aware of?
Yeah, look, there's a couple of things. One important thing, I think, ourselves as Sun International, we've partnered with Wheel Entertainment, and Stephanie Wheel has been a big part of.
She's been doing the PR.
Yeah, she's
even
been
her
doing
mom
the-
was part of it.
Absolutely. So so it's Stephanie's a big part of what we're doing this year. We've really, if anybody's seen the image, and please do look at the Miss South Africa website. We've got a new look for it. We've used South African designers for our fashion shoot. So we've used imprint and Makosa stuff for our shoot. So we're really trying to make it look African and South African at that, because sometimes when you look at pageants across the world, if you look at the opening of the pageant or you look at the pictures that they have, nothing.
Same thing.
It's the same thing.
The one in Australia could be the one in Singapore, could be the one in America, and we need to make it our own.
Absolutely, and I think that from the get-go here, with the photo shoot, using the 5 formers, Rolene Bokang, Lisa Laurie, Tamron, and we've also got Ntando. It's all winners from the last couple of years. We didn't have Demi wasn't around when we did the shoot, but importantly, there's now a USP. There's a unique selling point about Miss South Africa, and it's going to be South African, and that's why I think our girls also do particularly well on that international stage, and we're looking for somebody who can represent our country, in that special way that we have seemed to achieve over the last couple of years.
When we come back, I'm going to tell you that there's a world rankings on how good your country is at pageants in
really?
general.
Really?
And we score quite high. MissSA.co.za, that is where you go to enter. When we come back, Frankie, as well, you said...
I've got questions for you, Gareth.
Yeah.
Because obviously we just see the TV show, and I know that now before we start, maybe I can ask you a few things about behind the sines, what happens,
Cool. Let's do
the
that.
Skinner.
Oh, are you going to go there?
Yes.
Oh,
I
gosh.
promised I would.
Gareth's never going to come back here.
The 947 Breakfast Club.
Gareth from Sun International is here to let us know that Miss South Africa is back. It is bigger, it is bolder, and it is more South African. It is more African. I mean, come on. You don't produce stuff like Black Panther and then ignore all of that.
Exactly.
We are on that wave ride right now.
Hi guys, can a 35-year-old woman qualify for Miss SA?
Gareth?
Frankie, do you want to answer that? You were looking at the
Let me
rules
just look
earlier.
at the frequently asked. MissSA.co.za is where you got to go, and then you'll find all of the answers to these questions.
Mustn't you have turned 25?
So I got it here. You have to be at least 20 years of age and be under 27 years of age by the 9th of August.
Is the 9th of August the day of the pageant?
9th of August, Women's Day 2019.
I love
That is when the
it.
pageant's happening. Sun Arena at Times Square. Just a quick thing, and the reason why the age limit is there, it's because in the international competitions, you have to turn 27 if you win
In the year of the rain.
in the year of rain. If
Okay.
you win Miss World or Miss Universe. So it's not a Miss South Africa rule. We've got to say, okay, where are we sending a competitor to? And their rules are you have to be 26 at oldest. If you're there, turn 27 in rain. So yeah, that's the way it is. You no older than 26.
Okay, we've got a question for you. Alex, myself, Thembekile. We've used that Snapchat filter thing to transform ourselves into women.
Okay.
So I'm just going to ask Gareth where we would get
As the
to.
Miss South Africa professional.
Yeah, because he knows where we would get to if we
Which
had to
round?
enter which round. You
Okay.
know, would we make it to the finalists? All right, so this is me and Taylor
Taylor
Swift.
Swift.
All right.
You know what? I have a problem with that photo because it's kind of cheerleader effect. You're standing
Yes.
next to somebody hot, so you look hot.
Yeah, but I mean, don't come at me. This is about me now in my round.
All right.
So you need a bit of work. Nothing a stylist can't fix.
Okay, all right, fine. I'll take. I can see my eyebrows are going to need some plucking there on this photo.
Also, your hair, it's nondescript. It doesn't know if it wants to be brown or blonde. Or,
Okay,
it
I
needs
get
to
it.
pick a side. It needs to pick a side.
All right, let's go with Thembekile quickly.
Okay,
This is
Thembekile.
You can see this on our Breakfast Club Instagram, by the way, if you want to see these pictures.
As well as our Facebook
Uh,
page.
Thembekile is well put together.
Yes.
Very
Yeah.
well put together, quite confident. I think Thembekile would have a chance.
Thembekile would kill it in the question round.
Yes.
That's all we say.
That's true. Yeah.
Him and I both suffer from the weight issue a little bit, but
And this is the thing, hey, because if we're crowning on the 9th of August, it means by December, November, you should be able to go to Miss Universe and Miss World. So I think it's very important that if you want to Miss South Africa, it's something you should be thinking about now. You should be looking after yourself now. You should be working towards being a Miss Universe now, right?
Absolutely. Look, this year does because the pageant's on 9th of August. That's our final and our crowning. There are a lot of ladies out there who have been prepping, really been asking us as the organisation questions about when we're opening.
Yeah,
So
good.
this year
that.
puts a little bit of pressure on the contestants. But what I do like is the fact that we're going to find somebody who is ready. That campaign is out there, and
Hit the ground running. Yeah?
Absolutely, we've had such great campaigns in the last couple of years with our contestants. Demi had the Unbreakable campaign, and that was all about self-defense. And Tamron has told her story about being a TB survivor.
Yeah.
Those stories have taken them around the world, and they're going to trade on that well beyond Miss South Africa.
there's one. I think this is a proper candidate.
Is this Kimberly?
All right. Yeah, this is Kimberly. Her name
Alex.
is Kimberly. It's Alex's photo. What do you think of Alex as a woman with the Snapchat filter?
Yeah, you see, there's great potential here, and
Yeah,
also
you see.
we've got Tower Bridge in the background, so well-travelled,
Worldly.
absolutely.
I'm entering right now.
A little bit of undercover there, just with a hoodie on.
Sporty.
Absolutely.
Looks after the body.
Absolutely. I
All
think,
right.
Alex seems to look after his skin quite well.
Alex, top 5.
Yeah,
there
I'm
we
going
go.
on.
I don't know, but I'm going to give false hope here.
I promised I'd ask a little bit of Skinner, so I've just got to have one question quickly. I've always wondered about this. So, I mean, obviously, when it's Miss South Africa and you're representing the country, right? It's almost like the president. I mean, do you guys go and look? Are there skeletons in the closet?
Yes.
Really?
So,
Really? How?
okay, there's a private investigator.
Hectic. I knew it.
Really?
So, if you enter, and Anela knows this too,
Yeah.
when you enter, and
Yeah.
if you make it through that preliminary round, what happens is that we, for the sake of our brand as Miss
Yeah.
South Africa, but also for the sake of
For the country?
and for radio personalities not to ask any difficult questions to us.
Yeah.
You absolutely, there is somebody that will go out there. We'll find out how many traffic fines you.
If you owe Edgar's, we know.
Really?
Yeah.
If you have a
Absolutely.
cell phone contract outstanding, we
Hectic.
know. If you own on your school fees, we know. But what I can say about that is that when it's the private investigator report, it does get very heated. So it's never one-sided because obviously you've got 5 judges and obviously the organization. So it's never a case of, oh, this is quite scandalous about them.
Disqualified.
You disqualified. No. Each person in that room decides and we fight for it. And it lasts long. The one time we left so late at night because we were really at loggerheads about one thing. And that's good because you must know that at all times you have somebody on your side inside that room.
So if there's a small skeleton, it's okay. Maybe we can deal with that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the biggest skeleton you've ever found?
Yeah.
You don't have to mention names.
No,
No.
there are a couple of things that
don't-
should not be public
No,
knowledge.
it should.
But
No, it should. Gareth, come tell us.
if anything, what you put out on your social media,
Yeah.
know that is effectively, and it's not the only thing that you get judged on, but how you portray yourself out there. Remember, that's your public image. It's like putting a billboard out in the middle of Sandton and saying, and imagine the worst thing that you've ever put out on social media, on a billboard in Sandton, and you are then entering to be Miss South Africa and going, so if the country is going to judge me on being Miss South Africa, and that's something that can come out, hey, that's up to you. So you got to be very, very careful.
I'm not saying anything. I signed an NDA.
Yes, you did. And I think I just got myself out of that question.
And that's how you avoid a question, ladies. If you're wondering how to divert the attention, that's how you do it.
Yeah, it's a skill. It's a skill.
Mr. Gareth Plus from Sun International, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited. 9th of August, this country will have themselves a brand new Miss South Africa. We bid farewell to the lovely Tamron Green, who we are so fond of, especially on the show. Anytime we call her, she is here bright and early, and she's just wonderful. So I look forward to see who she's going to hand that crown over to. MissSA.co.za. Do you got it?
Frequently asked questions, all there.
If you love Joburg,
947 loves you.